Another week, another patch. Reading patch notes are so boring, so I decided to compile it into a short video for you, so that you're prepared when you enter the battlefield. Just so you know, this week's patch will be due for release on Wednesday the 6th, instead of the usual Tuesday. The biggest changes this week are the introduction of private matches, a change to Muriel's ult, and a visual upgrade to Dekker's ult. We also have a bunch of other changes which I'll also cover briefly. Private matches are here. You asked for it, so Epic delivered. It's still in a really early stage, so there are no custom settings or private lobbies, and as with all private matches, you won't earn XP from them. The process is simple. Gather a party of 5, press the new gear icon located next to the Q timer, create a password, and then get the other team to do this as well, making sure that they pick the exact same password, and you'll be matched against each other. It's a tedious process, but I'm so thankful that we have some private matches in the game, and I know Epic are going to make this process a lot more easy in the future. The second change that is going to take place is to Muriel's ult. If you're new, her ultimate just allowed her to fly across the map to any ally on the battlefield. While this was great for saving allies in danger, it began to be used to transport the orb prime buff to the drop off location, meaning you could avoid huge team fights and hand in the buff with relative ease and without the enemy team being able to counter this. This became a huge advantage for a team with a Muriel, and so they removed this ability in the upcoming patch. Muriel will most likely drop the orb if she ults, although how they've changed it is yet to be confirmed. Just don't try it guys, because if you do, you might lose the orb. The third and final major change is to Dekker's ult. It now, from the looks of it, has a base, so heroes cannot escape under it, but it also has a better, in my opinion anyways, visuals. This change, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have any effect on the actual ability itself, it's purely visual. Now onto some minor changes. I'll just tell you stuff that I think is relevant, but if you want the full changes, they're in the link below. So they've added a timer on the reticle for travel mode and shadow plane, added in combat movement speed to slow super and jungle minions. Speeds currently 50, 60, 70% of max for jungle, lane and super minions respectively. Goal is to make minions less jumpy in combat so it's easier to hit them when they decide to move, which is a welcome change because a lot of people were complaining that the minions felt too jumpy when they moved and it was difficult to get the last hit on them. Very early support for mouse and keyboard on the PS4, which is great since Paragon does run really well on the PS4. Those who have a PS4 should have the option to use the keyboard and mouse without having to purchase new hardware. Polish on lighting and post-processing in Agora. Darker areas are more lit. I think this was more changed for like people who had lower spec computers. I tend to find when I'm gaming and I was using my lower spec PC at the time, things seemed a lot more dark, so this is a great change for people who might have had this issue. Players can no longer cast travel mode while falling. This change may have some impact on the game. I tend to, jump down and hit the travel mode button as soon as I'm in the air. Now I have to wait till I hit the ground, so I'm not sure how much of an impact this is going to have. Fixed an issue where recall wouldn't start if used while in travel mode. This just seemed more like a bug to me. And they've updated for clarification, card XP is now referred to as card power. That makes more sense because people would be getting confused when people would say XP. Do you mean level XP or card XP? So I'm glad they're clarifying this. And they've also added water footsteps, water lands and water jumps for heroes. I think the water footsteps is great. You can now hear like the harvesters are placed around water and a waterfall, so now you can hear if someone's there. So I think that adds another element to the game and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. The final note on this patch is that replays will not be compatible. They have said that they're working on something to, stop all the replays being wiped, but I imagine when they make visual changes like Dekker's ult, the replays are not going to be compatible. One change that might have flown under the radar for a lot of people, but I think could have a significant impact on the game, is that Kallari's passive has been tweaked slightly. Kallari's passive gives her vision of any enemy hero below 25%, regardless of where they are on the map. This also used to work when Kallari was dead, but this has been removed. Kallari will now only gain vision and mark targets while she is alive. I'm interested to see if this impacts how aggressive Kallaris will be in late game, especially if you lose a Kallari for 60 seconds. A lot of people were probably expecting some balance changes, but I think Epic are waiting to see how people adapted to the first real big nerf on Grox and Feng Mao. Let me know what you think about the changes below. Remember, Iggy and Scorch are right around the corner, so we should be seeing them very soon. If you like these videos, let me know, leave a comment and a like. It's something new I'm trying, talking about patches, because reading the notes is super boring. And also, I'll be streaming a lot more often. Come check me out on Twitch at RGSACE. A link will be in the description below. Holy shit, was that not an epic way to announce Sevarog? See what I did there? Anyways, let's take a look at Sevarog, his skins, abilities, his role, and how I would build this Grim Reaper Dementor.